the opportunity to try out a lot of different tools in my studio and at shows. And while there are a lot that help me do my job better, there are not too many of them that are game changers. If you've seen my work, then you also know how much I love to do pierce work. And now that I'm older and have been making jewelry for about 20 plus years, it's starting to manifest itself in various aches and pains in my body. And piercing has been no exception. And I find myself with locked and stiff joints and hands when I'm piercing. Now this is the Easy Saw. It removes just about all of the stress on my hands when piercing. I don't have to hold the metal down, and the rotating clamp means all I have to do is bring that piece to my saw, and turning corners is a breeze. The Easy Saw starter kit comes ready to use and has a swappable acrylic adapter plate that you can even customize for your own purposes. The Easy Saw itself is a 360-degree rotating clamp that is super easy to move. The back of the clamp features a magnet, and here I can hold some of my hex keys or even spare saw blades. The Easy Saw uses the GRS mounting system, so there wasn't anything additional that I needed to use this in my studio. It's spring-loaded to help for easy loading of my materials, and it has a neoprene lining that's going to protect my work surface. There are also 2 locking pins that have been included in case I don't want the clamp to rotate. Once this clamp is tightened down, my metal inside is not going to move. Now I can drill my piercing holes for my saw blade. So if I'm going to be doing some internal piercing, a new concept saw with that tension lever is going to be the most efficient. It allows for me to thread the bottom of that blade through the hole and then retension easily thanks to the tension lever. Now if I'm just cutting around the outside perimeter of a design, I can then use any of my deep throat saw frames. Those that have a throat smaller than that of a green lion is not going to work. Once I began, I could immediately tell that I was going to like this tool. I had absolutely no tension or pressure in my hands, and I found that I was actually much more accurate in my cutting. The cutting was quite natural, and the motion was so much more fluid. I am positive that this is going to really help those with arthritis or hand strength issues. Once my piercing was done, the clamp made it very easy for me to also go back through and clean up some of my cuts with a file. I didn't have to worry about holding my piece at an awkward angle or hitting the bench pin with my files, because I could just rotate my piece to me. And once again, it was much more natural and fluid. The clamp has an opening of about 2.5 inches and can hold a piece up to 4 inches wide. And the first thing that people ask me about this is, what about working with smaller pieces? Well, there's an additional plate, the 4-inch Lasy Susan grid fixture plate, which has a much smaller opening as well as positionable fixture clamps. And that's going to hold things into place. And as you can see, these pieces are smaller than a US penny. There are also 2 other 7-inch Lasy Susan fixtures that round out the collection. One with a grid fixture that can be used with the grid clamps and can be used to secure stones or whatever else for carving, pieces for engraving, and so much more. The aluminum Lasy Susan fixture is great for design layout, but I also like to use it for a rotating soldering or annealing station at my bench. Now, if you like any of these items, I will include links to everything down below in my description, so be sure you check that out as well. So overall, I really like this, and I'm so glad somebody came up with this. I have issues where my fingers will cramp and stay locked when I'm doing some of my piercing, and this is definitely an answer to that. This is a very well made tool. It's made of high quality machined aluminum, and it's made here in the US. Because of all of these factors, the fact that it's very well made, it comes with a nice price tag. It is not inexpensive, but for me, it is worth the investment in my studio to have this and to be able to continue to do more of the pierce work that I love. And for my viewers, the maker has graciously offered free shipping, so make sure you use my link when you order to get that. If you have any more questions, be sure to drop those down in the comment section and I'll get back to you. Thanks for watching.